what's up, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my first Halloween tutorial of 2017. I am so excited for this look. This is my Cyborg tutorial. Now, I cannot take full credit for this look. I was majorly inspired by this beautiful graphic design I found online of kind of like an anime character. I will link the artist's name in the bottom box down below. I did alter the character to kind of fit what I was going for, but I did use her photo as a guideline, so I do want to go ahead and give her credit for designing this look. So if you guys are ready to see how I did this look, just keep watching. First, to prime the skin, I'm going to take the Too Faced HANGOVERX Primer, and I'm going to use that all over the face just to give me some hydration and make it ready for my makeup. For foundation, I started with the Ultra HD foundation by Makeup Forever, but this shade was a little too light for me, so I did end up mixing in my Pro Filter foundation by Fenty Beauty to make it a bit more of my skin tone. So I'm just applying this as I normally would on any other day using the Tweezerman makeup sponge. Then for concealer, I'm taking the Idole Ultra Concealer by Lancome Cosmetics. I love this concealer. It gives you such awesome coverage, but again, you don't have to use anything super high-end. You can use a drugstore concealer. It kind of doesn't matter for this look, but I am just starting my face as I would any other makeup look. After that's all blended in, I'm going to set that with the Too Faced Peach Perfect Translucent Powder. It has been such a favorite of mine lately. I love how it looks on the skin. It really does set my concealer and my makeup just so well, but it gives me a really nice airbrushed finish. Next, for the shadow in this look, I'm taking the Creme de Couture palette by Sigma Beauty. I do use this mostly throughout the whole video, so if you have this palette, whether it's the old one or the new one, you will be set. I took the pink shadow with an angled brush, and I started to fill my brows in with that pink. This whole look, I just was really trying to look the least bit human that I could, so everything is very colorfully enhanced, and I just love that. I followed up with the purple shadow to fill in the back end of my eyebrow. Next, in the same Creme de Couture powder palette, I'm going to take the light pink shade and I'm going to blend this all over my lid as the base for our shadow look. Again, I love this makeup so much, you guys, and it's super duper easy to do. Even though it did take me a while to kind of put together, I think because you guys will have a straight guide to do it from this video, it should be much faster and easier for you to do it. Once that is blended all over the lid, I'm going to jump into the hot pink shade of the palette, and I'm going to focus this in the crease of my eye. I really wanted to build up the hollows of my eye. You can see I'm bringing it all the way to the inner corner of my eye. I'm making everything super blown out and super dramatic because, again, I wanted to look super cybery, futuristic, and just not like a normal human. Then I'm dipping into Elderberry, the dark purple of the palette, and again, just building up on top of that pink. This I actually focused and concentrated a lot because I wanted a stark contrast between my lid and my crease. So I really concentrated that color, especially on the inner corners of my eye, but still blending it towards the back tail of my eye as well. Next, to prep the lids for our shadow going directly on the lid, I took an old school color tattoo. I love this color tattoo. It's in the shade Shimmering Sea by Maybelline. Some of you guys might still have this. And I just took a Sigma Beauty concealer brush and I painted this over my lid underneath the crease to kind of make a fun futuristic color palette. Once that was on there, I took the Sunbeam Supershock shadow from Colourpop Cosmetics and I layered that directly on top. This Supershock shadow is from the My Little Pony collection and I've just been dying to use it. I thought the colors would be so perfect for this look and I really think it turned out awesomely. So if you have this, definitely use that. Next, I'm not quite done with that definition, and again, I want this look to be super duper extra. So I took the Naked Heat palette, specifically the shade En Fuego, and I started to blend that out on my lower lash line. I did go much thicker than I would normally, but again, hey, it's Halloween, we want to have fun, we want to make this cool, so I was really blowing that out and making it a nice thick line. I then also took the shade Ashes with that same domed utility brush by Sigma, and I focused this on my outer crease, my outer V. I really wanted all the colors to pop, and by the way, I just loved how these two palettes work together. I might try this look again. Sometimes it's something more regular, but I loved the Creme de Couture and the Naked Heat together. They just looked stunning. And then I took the Shadow Cayenne as well to kind of just help blow out that lower lash line. Next, taking the Makeup Forever Star Powder in the shade N42 with a damp brush, I layered this on my inner corners to really make that pop and kind of trick the eye into thinking my eyes were larger than they were, because again, kind of trying to be a little futuristic here, and I just thought this would be super duper fun. Next, I'm popping onto my liquid liner. I didn't want to do anything too thick, so I decided just to do a thin winged liner for this look. I was honestly like struggling. I didn't know if I should do a liquid liner or not, but I ended up really liking how it turned out. So I do recommend doing a light wing with this look if you're going to. And then of course I'm gonna tight line my waterline and my upper lash line with the Makeup Forever Aqua XL Black Pencil. Next, going on to a fun part, I took the NYX Cosmetics White Liquid Liner and I drew this on the inner corners of my eyes because I just wanted to kind of create, I don't know, like a cut there. I just thought it would add to the interestingness of the look. I'm sorry I'm not a good describer. I then topped my lashes with the Urban Decay Troublemaker Mascara. I am going to be wearing falsies, so you don't have to layer on too much mascara, but just a bit to prep for the lashes. I also took some of that white NYX liner again and I coated it on top of my lower lash line. Jumping back into our Creme de Couture palette, I took that kind of mauve shade to start contouring out my face. You could use natural, normal human tones if you wanted to, but I just wanted this to be super colorful and different so we didn't look too human. Now I just took a bit of bronzer. This is the Ambient bronzer by Hourglass, and I love it because it has a beautiful shimmer in it. And I kind of wanted like an all-over shimmer look without being like super metallic, and I thought this would just be perfect, and it was. It worked out so great, but of course, use whatever product you have at home. Next, jumping into the Creme de Couture palette again, and I'm still using that same mauve tone we were already using. I'm just using this to kind of pink up the face a bit more and alter my coloring. I also put it on my cheeks, which was cool because it kind of acted like a blush, but also just enhanced the overall coloring of my skin and just made it super fun. Taking that same shadow again, just with a smaller brush, I wanted to build up the color around my nose a bit more, just so that would be super defined and I'd have like just a really structured nose contour, but using something more colorful. I think it just made it super fun. I also wanted to contour out underneath my chin and on my Cupid's bow in that little slit there, so I really build that up to really define all the features. Next, taking the Creme de Couture palette again, I'm going to go into the shade Elderberry, and this is where I'm drawing the moon shape I had on my forehead. This was a little bit tricky for me. I have a hard time like creating shapes, I realized during this tutorial, so it's best to start out with a sheer layer of color and then build up to the design that you wanted, just so you can remove any mistakes you make. But I kind of ombre'd this little moon here so that it would be super dark on the tails and then light in the middle of it, and I think it just gave it a really cool look. Then to enhance it even more, I took the light lavender shade in that same palette and I just packed that on right in the middle of the moon just to make it super awesome. Now you guys are going to notice in this scene I have a little metal piece on my forehead. I don't know why that did not record, so I'm sorry you missed that, but I'm going to be gluing a bunch of other stuff on so you'll see that. Here I'm just taking a Loreal liquid liner pen to start building up that design I had on my cheek. It's a super graphic, like cyber looking design. You can also relay it to like a honeycomb type of design. But you see a lot of this imagery in graphic design and things about the internet and cyber world. There always seems to be this little pattern. So I just think it looks really, really cool on the face, especially when you guys see what color we add on top of it. I started with the white liner just so I could kind of softly etch out what I wanted. If I would have went in just with the blue and made any mistakes, it probably would have been super hard to clean up. So I just wanted to kind of outline it myself before I went and placed the real color on top of it. And it's up to you how many of these you want to do. You could simply do a few on your temple or a few on your cheeks or a few on your contour, but I really love how it looked on half of the face. Next, to seal the deal and give it a pop of color, I'm taking the Makeup Forever Aqua XL Matte Turquoise Paint. I used this to line over the white little design we just created, and it's not perfect, but you kind of get the idea. Okay, it's just Halloween makeup, so it's not a big deal. I would actually like to try this look a second time to see if I could get it a little bit more clean and just more sharp, I guess. But I really, really loved how it turned out, especially with this aqua color. It just was bright and it just popped. It looked awesome with the purple, so I'm really happy I chose this shade. This did take a while. I was so tired by the end of this design, and then I was even more tired at the end with the chest design, but that's okay because it all paid off so well. So if you guys are struggling with a Halloween look, just stick in there because it's going to get freaking awesome. You just cannot give up. I loved this part so much. Once I finished up with that, I wanted to add some more highlights, so I went into the ABH Moonchild palette, specifically the Pink Heart, I think it's called, and I was over-exaggerating my highlights, so I'm applying way more than I normally would onto my nose. This is a little Royal and Langnickel brush that we got in BoxyCharm. I also added some to my Cupid's bow, in my chin, in my temples, and also inside that little moon on my forehead, and I just really love how it made the overall look. I also took a damp fan brush from Sigma and I applied some on my cheekbone that did not have that graphic design on it, just to kind of really amplify the look. And the fact that it has like this pinkish hue ties so well with the purple. I added some on my temples. I just love how this all turned out. Next, I'm going to take a little dual fiber brush from Sigma and I'm going into that very light purple shade, kind of like a pinky purple. And I just wanted to add that to my hairline and like my contour again, the normal places we put bronzer and such. I just wanted to amp up the shading of my face because I still was looking too human in my opinion. So I also added some on the sides of the nose again and just kind of created like an overall mask. But again, it was super easy, super fun. If you have this Creme de Couture palette and like a blue liner, you could do this entire look like with no money. Just excited that I didn't have to buy anything additional for this look except for the little gems or the little metal pieces that I was gluing on my face, which by the way are by Blank State. That's the company. It's called Blank State, and I bought them at a craft store. Next, I took some Faux Mink Ardell lashes. These are the 812 lashes. I like these. I just wish they didn't have that white band. That was really annoying to me. I went over it with liquid liner, but it didn't even really cover it that well. So I just hate when brands have that white band. I then took more of these little metal pieces. If I can find them online, I will definitely link them for you guys. But I just found them at like a Joann's Fabrics, I think. It was just a general popular craft store. Pretty cool. They were $9.99 and I was just like, yes, these fit my theme so well. So I popped some on my cheeks there, and then I also added these other little gears in between my eyes and like my nose area. I think again, it just added to the overall cyber look. I just really love these. Next, I wanted to do a little bit of shading under my neck. So I took this purple shadow and I started to build that up right along my neck, just to kind of give an overall not so human look. And you can see I'm also contouring out my chest, just adding any definition that I can just to kind of make it an overall look without needing to like do full body painting. Now I did the little chest design. This again just makes it look super futuristic and super cybery and it looks like coding and cool stuff. So I took that same Makeup Forever Aqua XL gel and I started doing this design. I did get, again, a ton of inspiration from the little anime character that I found online. So I did not design this part at all by myself. When I saw the photo, I was like, oh my gosh, I totally need to see this like done as makeup. This is such a cool graphic. It needs to be brought to life. So I was really, really happy with this. You can see I started adding a little bit of dark blue gel liner. It's actually also one of those Makeup Forever XL paints, but I ended up hating it. It was just too bold in my opinion, so I kind of stopped that after this part. When I was just kind of using it to shade, it was just too harsh, and I was like, I don't like where this is going, and I don't want to ruin it all. So I kind of stopped using that blue liner, and I switched to just shading with the purple shadow in the Creme de Couture palette. So still just continuing down with that chest piece. And I just love it. I think the chest piece really like ties it all together. It makes it look super futuristic and super cybery. I know I sound like a broken record. That's the only way I know how to describe this. It just really tied it all together. And I can't imagine having the face makeup without this part. And again, you don't have to go out and get the makeup for everyone. I'm sure NYX or a bunch of brands should have a teal or aqua liquid liner or gel liner that you can use. Even Colourpop has those great gel liners. So yeah, definitely look in your collection, and I bet you'll have everything you need to make this look. Here's where I started shading it in with the dark purple shadow, and I was like, oh yeah, this is much, much better. Again, I was not the cleanest on this part. I was honestly like over it at this time. This had taken me hours to do, and I was like, oh my god, let me just finish this up so I can get out of here and eat something. Like, I just ordered pizza. I wanted to eat it. I was so tired. So I give so much credit to these makeup artists and these YouTubers and influencers who have been busting out Halloween tutorials. For example, Raw Beauty Christy, just everybody, Samantha, everybody is killing it as usual, and I give them so many props because this took forever. I was exhausted, and this is only my first one. So those of you who have already made several Halloween tutorials, like, I envy you. You're amazing. I'm not worthy, and thank you for being such an inspiration to me and all of us out there in the beauty community, even my viewers. Like, I love how inspired we get by other people's works, and it's amazing. I love this job and this community. But anyway, I don't know what that little rant was about. Not even a rant. I go on and on. So again, I'm just continuing the shading just to give it a little bit more graphic design. And I think if you would have taken your time on this, like, I was kind of rushing it because I was over it, I think it would come out a lot better for you than it did for me. Next, for the lips, to tie it all together, I took Lemon Drop by Colourpop Cosmetics, another lippy or another product from the My Little Pony collab. This purple lip tied in so well. I thought it looked freaking awesome with the makeup. I then decided to put my hair in pigtails because I was just kind of like, I don't know what else to do. And I really actually liked how that looked with pigtails, so I just kind of tied them back. I don't know if any of you guys are going to remember these products. This is an ABH or Anastasia Beverly Hills Hypercolor. It was like the hair chalk they came out with, and I have it in the shade blue. So I took it with a makeup sponge and I was adding it to my hair, but it wasn't showing up too much on my hair because my hair is so dark. So I decided to start really focusing it on the root of my hair where a bit of the skin was showing and like across my hairline. It truly gave me the overall appearance of having blue hair without like needing to go and buy an expensive wig. Like, I would have loved to have done this with a wig, and if you guys have a wig, I think it'll be freaking awesome. You know, I'm saving for a wedding. I couldn't justify going to buy a wig just for this makeup look, but if you have one, freaking rock it because it will look amazing with this. I then took another one of those little metal gear pieces and I glued it to my lips, and then also glued some to the chest to really make that pop. If you're wondering what glue I'm using, it's the Violet Voss glitter glue. And these were super heavy pieces, so they did kind of slip a few times, but overall I was able to get them to stay on with just using a lot of glue. Then to tie it all together, I thought my face was just still a little too human. So I took some purple shadow again from the Sigma Creme de Couture palette, and I used that to contour out my cheek and a little bit on my temples again, and I think that totally made the difference. So if you think you should add something, go ahead and do it because you might totally enhance it. And that is it, you guys, for this look. I really hope you enjoyed it. This was so much fun to create. And again, huge thank you to the graphic design artist who originally created this idea. I would not have been able to do this without your image, and so I give you full credit, and I thank you for your brilliant mind and for just being an amazing artist, and I hope you like my recreation. I want to thank you guys for watching my video today. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to share what other Halloween ideas you would like from me. I'm going to be filming a few more tutorials, so let me know if you have any suggestions, and I have a few ideas in mind, so I'm really excited to see those come true. Lastly, if you head to my Instagram, I would love for you to give my photo a like of this makeup. My dream is to get onto the popular page, and I really hope that this look will take me there, so I would love your guys' support. If you could go and like my photo or share it, I would just so appreciate it. Yeah, so that's it, you guys. Thank you for watching. All the items I used will be listed in the bottom box down below, and I love you. Take care. Bye.